everybody's here. Let's call the meeting to order. August 25th, 2021, the removal meeting. First thing on the agenda, I'd like the introduction of the new member, William Garnett, who's sworn in. At the end of the table, I'm sure everybody knows him. I say thank you, Bill, for volunteering your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any remarks?
I always have remarks.
Any good ones?
No, welcome, Bill. I know you're familiar with the town. You were born, no, you weren't born here, maybe?
Yeah.
You were born here. You've been on the DPW for a number of years, so you've got some background with our roads and everything else that we constantly deal with our earth removal permits, so very good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Anybody else? Everybody's good? Okay, second thing on the agenda is Cedar, Meadow, Cranberry, Inc., public hearing, 7 p.m., map 120, lot 5, for an earth removal permit. The permit applicator called about 30 minutes before the hearing, and his engineer was not going to be able to make it tonight. So we're going to table this meeting till next Wednesday, if everybody can make it. It's just going to be a single agenda meeting for that. He asked if we could do that, and I said I'll present it to the board, and we'll take a vote on that. If we can do, and next Wednesday would be September 1st. Is it the 1st?
Do you, Bob, do you want a motion to
I would like
table
to,
that?
Yeah, I'd like a motion to table that.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. So everybody's good with that date, next Wednesday?
7 p.m.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What's the date? First. Same time as 7, is that what we decided, Bob?
Yeah, same time. So the first is next Wednesday, yeah, 7 o'clock. If everybody would like to review the minutes of the last meeting.
Bob, who's this Mr. Shirtliff that was present?
I'm sorry?
Mr. Shirtliff. Oh, John.
Right here?
John Shirtliff. That's with my brain. Okay. I don't know what happened there.
You'll have to put first names along with it.
When you told me he was leaving, I guess I wiped him out prematurely.
I hear a motion on approving the minutes?
Somebody else make the motion.
I wasn't here, so don't think I should.
Mike, will you?
So what do I do?
I move we approve them.
I move to approve the minutes as written.
You want to second that, Dave?
Second. Discussion on it.
Okay.
What did we decide on citizen participation? Is that going to be a part of our agenda or not?
That was one of the,
I noticed that we don't have any particular thing that,
we don't have any particulars on that at the moment.
Yep. All right.
We're still talking to town council on what we actually have to do and don't have to do.
okay,
They said that we can narrow it down to just permit applications for butters and stuff,
yeah,
for when they want to discuss anybody that abuts a permit application.
and what about the other business not planned for that may be addressed for? That's in discussion too?
Yes.
With town
Yeah.
council?
They're just trying to
Well,
narrow down the language of like
Yeah.
what they actually,
You need to have the right language for
Yeah.
that, yes.
yeah. And
Okay.
it's, I mean, we can all assume what we would like it to say, but we just don't have that. We need that legal advice.
Well, I
for
think
how it
that
works.
probably would be a good, it should maybe come from town council
Yeah, right.
as to how you word that.
But they have been discussed about it, but we're just waiting back and forth.
All right.
It's been so inundated with the other stuff too, so
Yep,
their timeframe is difficult, I should say.
okay. I'm good.
So did you second that, Dick?
I did, I seconded it, yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
But there'll be 2 abstentions,
Yeah,
Bill and
Bill
Jim.
and Jim.
that's right.
Okay, the inspection, the next thing on the agenda is the inspection site visits with the committee for 146 Center Street, map 12, lot 4, Silver Street, map 14, lots 10, 10A off of Walker Road, and Center Street, which we went as the committees that showed up, and we looked at, one was Don Fernandes, and Greg Arnold, and Jake Arnold. And any discussion for the visits that we did?
Well,
We're gonna close out these permits.
yeah,
These
that
permits
was,
are all closed
that
out.
was basically what we were checking on.
That's what we were
To see
checking
if
on.
they had completed
Yep,
adequately, and the Fernandes permit looked pretty outstanding. I mean, he did a
Outstanding,
great job
Yep.
in terms of landscaping, if you want to call it landscaping,
Right.
and vegetative cover, and the banks and the slopes. That was excellent.
yes.
And so we won't see his permit on our lists anymore.
No,
And then the Arnold permit,
yeah,
it's still finishing off.
well, the Greg Arnold's is finishing off because he's keeping the rest of that sand for his own farm.
Yes, yep,
So.
I got that,
He's
yep.
just finishing off that slope that was completed, so that's all he had to do. And
Yep.
Jake just had to touch up his slopes too.
yep, that's,
So, but as far as any
So
more
they
earth
both-
being removed off any of the sites.
we won't have any
right,
trucking
there's-
coming out
There's no
of
more
there.
trucking coming out of there.
Right, right,
On those
okay.
permits, yeah. Exactly.
Okay. That's, I got that, I observed that, I mean.
Yeah,
I
right.
know Jake the parcel that he'd been taking things off, he's gonna be making into a bog.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
yeah,
so that completes it.
right. Those three will be off the books. So that's good. Any further discussion? Any questions? Okay. Next on the agenda, update on new procedures to include assignment of permit numbers, date issued, approved yardage on monthly form, and updating email address to application.
Can I ask a question, go back to the last item? Do you wanna schedule any other visits
We're
coming
gonna-
up, or is that on a different item on our agenda?
That is gonna be on, well, we didn't put that on here, did we? So it's not on the agenda tonight, Dick, so we're gonna have to
Okay.
wait till the next one.
All right,
So,
On the first?
I'm sorry?
Well, we could probably discuss it on the first, or where we're gonna
We
go.
can discuss it on the first, yes. I'll put that on the agenda.
Excellent.
So if you can put
so that's next week?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
So the update on the new procedures is that one of the things is this, it's gonna be a monthly yardage sheet with the daily trucks on it. Quarterly payments are still gonna come in. But then when we get that quarterly payment, we will have 3 months worth of truck counts in yardage. So then we can backlog it and look at it, make sure everything's up to par. And these are what they're gonna look like if you guys all have this in here, right? So it'll be so much easier to track when we get that payment. It'll tell us how much yardage is actually left on the site. Make sure that all the truck counts are right for the day. And that way there, if there's any accountability that we get a call on anything, we can call up and we can look at the truck counts that day and make sure it's all up to snuff.
It matches our,
Matches, yes.
our engineers' numbers.
Yes,
That's what we're gonna be doing.
Right.
Yep.
right, but it's also gonna have a permit number on it, which we didn't have before. It's gonna have the approved yardage when it was issued. And so this will all be punched into the computer also, so we can go and look at it. When that was done, when the year review comes up, if there is one.
When we have the engineers do
Yep.
the plan,
Yep,
is there any way we can segue out the yardage that the
you mean if this freezes?
applicant is gonna use for their own agriculture versus sale? Is there gonna be an area we can, I mean, other than the monthly truck lists?
So you mean like have an agricultural sheet?
Yeah, how much-
Have another one of these sheets that say agricultural. That's kind of tough because there's not
Is
a
it?
lot of, there's probably only 1 or 2 permit holders that have that much yardage going out.
Yes, I agree.
So for just for our purposes, other than the agricultural part, which is
Yep.
out of our jurisdiction, we strictly have to focus on this.
Right. The only thing
What we
was,
can do is notify the permit holders, and if they are gonna be moving material for agricultural purposes,
yep,
they can let us know
that would be good, because that's what we were being,
prior to them doing it.
yeah, that's what was becoming the
Right.
problem with the disagreements.
Right.
Right.
Shouldn't we have an extra column that would say agriculture, and we're taking it off, we're gonna use it ourselves, and say, okay, you did 4 truckloads on that day.
See, I
What's
would rather,
agriculture?
and I don't know if that's in our jurisdiction to have them do that to us. It's another question that we have asked town council, and we're waiting for them to
Oh,
get
okay.
back to us.
Very good.
Because we're strictly the
Okay.
commercial part.
Yeah, I can see that. I
You
mean,
know-
that seems to make, what you're saying makes sense, Bob.
Right.
Where,
The trouble is, we may get accused of something that, we're not collecting money for this amount of material, and that's actually going to the grower for his own use.
Right.
but
And-
the overall yardage that we have here, say we got 500,000 yards.
Yes.
and they're gonna give themselves $250 and they're gonna sell $250.
Right.
So we should have an accounting
What are you
of
saying?
where.
No, I understand what you're
That-
saying.
that we
I
have-
understand what you're saying. I was almost thinking about having a whole separate sheet that just said agricultural use on it. So we knew what those counts were separate from our commercial base. I understand. I don't know if another column would complicate things.
Okay.
I'm not sure. That's why we're discussing it. So
Very good.
if you think another agricultural column would be sufficient,
It's just-
I would rather keep it
It's just to find
separate.
out it's coming from the total amount that was.
I mean, it would be nice in the permit that they said we're gonna use 250 for ourselves
Well,
and
they don't.
250 for commercial.
Well, they don't know that.
And they don't have to say that.
And-
But,
Yeah.
you know, it would be nice to know that they had put stuff aside and it
Aside,
went off
right.
to themselves.
Right. But when you get into that, I would also want to know where it went, just so we know.
Okay.
Because anybody can say, well, we took it for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I would want to know where it went.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, again,
I guess the
that's,
separate sheet would
So,
solve
yeah,
some of
yeah.
that.
but that's also the part that town council has to tell us
Yeah.
to,
Correct.
if we can require
Are
that.
we overstepping our authority?
Exactly, exactly. But I would want it on a separate sheet. I want to know where it went, if they're using it for agricultural. Because, other than that, it's just their word against our word of,
Okay.
okay,
Mhm.
and for the public, So that's where we're at, and we're waiting for that information also.
Okay.
So,
Okay, thank you for your work on that,
Thank
Bob.
you.
Good job, yes.
does anybody have any discussion about this sheet or how to improve it in any other way that's on here? So these are gonna be required monthly, not quarterly. We're still gonna get the quarterly payments, but again, like I said, we're gonna be able to, when we get a check, we're gonna be able to go back these 3 months and say, okay, they're right on target with the money that they owe us.
Where it said at 10 cents per yard and you have a space, so they're gonna have to write .10 all the way down. So why don't we just add it into the column?
Add it into the column itself?
Yeah, just say 10
Okay.
cents a yard,
Yeah.
straight down, so that they don't have to do that, and then just go,
Right.
oh, we took out 50,000 yards, times 10 cents equals.
Right. Yep.
I
Okay.
can do that, and also just be mindful, if there is a 0.25 cents, there will be a separate sheet for that.
Right.
There's 2 different sheets.
Okay. Yeah.
Great.
Just so I'm up to speed, what's the .25?
Like SLT down to there, because it's not agriculture.
It's commercial.
It's commercial,
Okay,
right.
thank you. Do you need another column for the 2.5, or is it just pretty isolated?
It's a separate sheet
It's a
that we
separate
have.
sheet.
Totally separate
That we
sheet.
have,
So-
yeah.
So they would get the appropriate sheet.
Yeah.
That's for any
The
commercial
permit.
sites that come in the town that have earth removal on it.
Okay.
And just so, I don't know if everybody knows, but if there's a commercial site that has 5,000 yards times the acres in the bylaws, they don't need a permit. So, that's the way the bylaw was set up. So,
Could you repeat that, Bob?
I said, in the bylaws, it says it's a commercial site that has 5,000 yards, under 5,000 yards or under, they don't need a permit for removal. That falls under the building permit, I guess. I'm not
Okay.
100% on the building permit part, but. Okay, any other discussion on this? Okay. What was the other, that's that one.
The application,
And,
we just had the email.
right, and so the other, on the earth removal application, we just added their email. We want their email address. That's the only other thing that we're adding on that, so. Any discussion on that? Okay. Next on the agenda is the DPW line painting expense. John Woods, the head of the DPW, called me and they had the expense for the line painting, and so we approved those funds to be released. I just wanted the committee to know that. Usually, we never really discussed too much of that, but we're gonna discuss it every time now.
And
So,
what was the value for the line painting, do we
we
know?
have the,
I don't have that at
That's
my
okay.
fingertips, but I can get it for you.
we don't have that with us. What we do have is the last road that was paved.
Okay,
Yeah.
just let me know that.
I can go grab it. It's-
No, we don't,
Oh, you don't,
no,
okay.
just let me know, you
Yeah.
know the road?
Yeah, it was Ransom Street, I believe.
Ransom, yeah.
Yeah.
So would we have a balance in that account? Do we know yet?
Yep,
Is that the,
Yeah.
down here, 155?
yep.
Okay,
Yeah, we're gonna discuss that,
yep. Will do. So do you need a motion to release that, Bob, on the painting?
Well, we've never had to really vote on that stuff. Do we, the thing is that I would like to vote on it,
I
just
don't
so we
know.
all know,
Uh,
just so we all know to
Oh.
we release those funds for the
That,
DPW.
you're bringing it up on the agenda, why not?
Yeah, why not, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, I just wanted to discuss that with the committee, and I would like to vote on it personally, you know, so I mean, because I think it's a good thing to do, but we can take a vote on that. I'd like to make a motion on that to vote for any expenditures that we release.
Second?
I'll make the motion.
You make the motion, Dick? Yeah.
Yep.
Michael second.
Mike seconded. And, I mean, that is part of
Yes,
the highway fund, I mean, the highway
Right.
necessities,
right.
you know, so that's a bona fide expenditure for
It is.
the DPW for us, so,
From the earth removal account,
Yeah.
it's no
Right.
cost to the taxpayers whatsoever,
yep, I'm good.
so. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Okay, so that's good. All right. Next item on the agenda, review of the earth removal account.
Did you skip over the road repair? Or was that just,
Funds for transfer request for road, I'm sorry, I did, but
is that under the same topic?
we didn't have,
no requests so far.
we had no request for road repair. I don't even know why was that on there?
I think it was from the previous one.
Was that from the previous road?
That was from the previous one, and you discussed that those funds were released.
Okay, so can you get that so we can show the
Sure.
committee what it was for Ransom Street?
Sorry about that.
No? That's what we're supposed to do.
So that was the repaving for Ransom Street and any structures involved with it, and I'm assuming that's what the line painting is for also.
So the line pointing, that line item we just voted on, was to do with repaving that street and the painting.
Yes,
Okay.
this was
From June.
this was with Chairman Garrettson, so John Woods, the head of the DPW, just reiterated with me when I took over the chair that it was already released
Okay,
in transition, so that's why, so this is what, the funds that were released for that. Which is that, show that on, yeah.
top sheet's kind of review of it.
And also, Mr. Woods said, when we were talking about the road repairs and stuff, that he's gonna take before and after pictures, so we can
Oh,
see what they
right.
actually, what actually.
Just like we were talking about the
Yes.
sand removal, yeah, okay.
Yes, yep.
Good, no,
So,
that's,
just so that, like, the taxpayers ever wanted to, you know, see what the roads came out and
Yep.
looked like,
oh, what they looked like before.
although what they looked like before.
I'm good,
And that it didn't cost them any money whatsoever, so.
I should have worn my mask in here tonight.
That's in,
Oh,
that's.
Right. yeah. Yeah. One other thing on the permits now, the permits all have permit numbers that we're gonna, that we have on this sheet right here, that she's gonna start addressing them to. So I would say by what, the next regular meeting? The regular monthly meeting, they'll all have permit numbers that you can see. And like, here's an example. You wanna pass that?
We got it on our packet.
Oh, you got one in the packet? Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yep.
So again, that was already done prior to the realignment of the board, so just wanted you guys to know that.
The permit numbers?
No, that money transfer for Nancy
Oh,
Street.
yeah.
But going forth, we're
Yep.
gonna vote on every release of funds.
Yep.
Just so everybody knows where it's going.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so, next item is review of the earth removal account. So this is as of August 25th, down.
I'm going to talk this morning, actually
Yeah.
yesterday.
Is there anybody that we need to, everybody's up to par?
There's just one,
There's just one? And who?
Johnson Cranberry.
Okay. And have we put a phone call into here?
No, no written notice.
A written notice, okay.
Yeah.
It's been sent out?
Mhm.
And how long do we wait before? To
Usually
proceed.
about another, usually from month to month,
Okay.
so.
So the
it was-
next monthly
so-
meeting, he should have a response to us by then, hopefully.
Sure,
He's paid out.
hopefully.
Okay, all right.
Hopefully.
And if we don't get a response?
We really haven't been making phone calls,
That'll be the next,
but
well, call him or go visit.
it's just been written correspondence,
Okay.
a reminder notice.
And usually everybody,
Should we consider
And
a
what I have
shutdown?
done is put like second notice, on it to try to,
so I would rather not get to that second notice if we ever, not that we do it all really that much, but I will call him this week to give him a stern reminder,
Okay.
just to.
And if they don't respond, then we'll address it at a meeting.
At the
and-
very next meeting.
whether we-
We'll put that on the agenda
And
and we'll
whether we're
address it
gonna
then.
cut them or let them go or
Right,
whatever.
exactly.
Okay, that's
okay,
fine.
good, thank you, Mike.
Any further discussion on the account? Next item on the agenda is approve the bills payable. And those are,
Are these two right here?
So we're gonna discuss on Wednesday night anyway, our schedule for visitation.
and so we have to what, sign?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, everybody
I didn't wanna
signs
ask that.
Yeah, we can vote this one.
And that's the office supplies, so.
And so we don't sign that? What do you want
No,
us to say?
I think you should.
Okay.
I think you should.
All right, the bills payable is office supplies.
Well, you just can't say office supplies.
You gotta,
You have to say what it
yeah,
is.
here we go.
Just sign up at the top.
Here we go.
And the second item is Darlene's hours, timesheet. Just so you know, Darlene's been putting in a lot of hours.
Don't worry, Ben. Thank you.
I think that goes with it. I wondered about that. I assumed that she had been.
Yes.
because they were chasing down records and everything else.
Amongst other
Yep.
town employees too.
This isn't mine, that goes, did you give this with me then? I think it goes with it. Now, do we have money we have to pay to other people for clerical work that they did on all the
No.
record keeping? It's just you, darling?
No.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill. Sat in the wrong seat, Bill.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sat in the machine all day.
Need the, oh, I hope air conditioning.
We have that meeting on the 1st for Cedar, Meadow, Cranberry Inc. at 7, if everybody can make it. If you can't make it, please let us know.
And can we have a couple of more items on the agenda for that meeting?
I'm sorry?
Yep. Couple more items on the agenda?
Yes.
on that? Yep.
Yes, we will,
Okay.
yeah.
Scheduling visitation, right?
Yes,
Yep,
and then
good.
also the monthly meeting would be on September 29th. It's the last Wednesday of the month,
I will not be here,
okay?
so
Oh, we'll have to reschedule.
So we'll have to
It's up to
we'll have to
you.
appoint somebody to take minutes?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, acting secretary Jim now, and, sorry, Jim.
Yeah, no, yeah.
What's the date on that monthly meeting?
I think it's 28.
28?
So you won't be here on the 29th?
No.
Well, we can
29th?
have Jim volunteer that
Okay,
excellent work.
take off the handcuffs.
September 29th at 7th will be our annual monthly meeting. 7 o'clock. Meeting room 4. Okay. Any other further discussion?
Nope.
Mr. Garnett?
Don't have anything?
Mr. Nolan?
No?
Mr. Harrison? Mr. Ward?
Nope.
Mr. Sherwood? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I will make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
35-minute meeting? Wow.